What's up everyone, my name is Zach and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am going to be bringing you one of the videos that I am most excited to film, and there's a whole circus of birds outside my window. My window is actually closed this time, but it's spring, so enjoy the ambiance of, like, it sounds like a whole bunch of baby eggs just hatched. I don't know, whatever. They are cute, but hopefully okay on you all's ears. Anyways, I've been very excited to film this video because these two books in this video are two that I have been wanting to read. They're some of my biggest anticipated releases of the year, and then romance is a genre that, if you'll watch my Q1 wrap up, is one that I feel like I've really honed in on and really understand myself as a reader. Now, the results of this video really took me by surprise. So yeah, we are going to be battling, as you know, because you clicked on the video, Swept Away by Beth O'Leary and Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. If you haven't already, subscribed to my video, helps me out a ton. It helped me get both of these books early for review for you guys. A like on the video goes a long way. And then I want to know your thoughts and reactions to this video and to these books. Tell me, are you going to read them? Have you already read them? What are your thoughts? Do you plan to read them? Let's tell me all the things. So yeah, as always, these are going to be spoiler-free reviews. I don't spoil books in my reviews, and yeah, I'm going to kind of break down this battle between the two. Now, the whole point of these book battle videos are basically two books that might have something in common. So these are both romances. These are both authors that I have loved all of their previous books that I've read by them. And so I think that makes a natural competition. Now, this one went a little bit different. There's a clear winner in this. One of these books is a 5-star, one of them is a 3-star. And so the battle was not super close, but I do want to basically review both of them in this video. So the book that I read first is Swept Away by Beth O'Leary. This releases on April 1st. So you all will be seeing this video after this book has released, while we wait for Emily Henry's book, Great Big Beautiful Life, which releases April 22nd. You will be seeing this video closer around that release date. So for Swept Away, I listened to this through Penguin Random House Audio, which was actually the case for both books. Both Swept Away and Great Big Beautiful Life were gifted to me from Penguin Random House Audio. Yeah. So Swept Away, let's start there. I like to start these reviews by talking about keywords, like tropes or words that I want to use to convey themes in the book, basically. So for Swept Away, they are lost at sea, survival, realistic love, and animal saving / rehabilitation. The basic premise behind this book is our main characters, Zeke and Lexi, they are staying on this boat for an evening. They have a one-night stand, wake up the next morning, make a mistake with the boat, and the boat is not anchored, and they are basically floating out and lost at sea. Now, what brought them both to this boat independently is different. One of them has inherited the boat from the family, and then the other one was promised that they could rent the boat out for a lengthy period of time to kind of escape their life, is the general premise behind that of what I'm remembering. So let's go through kind of my notes on this book and what I loved. This I gave 5 stars. So it was very close to a new favorite. I went back and forth, and what kept me from pushing it over to a new favorite, but at the end of the year, I might reflect on this and change it because I still feel like I'm kind of teetering on this might be a new favorite. It was a very solid 5-star. But what kept it potentially is the ending, which I cannot disclose anything to you guys about, but there were just some things that were revealed that, one, I didn't think was necessary, and 2, the odds of that being the case just felt unreal. And I felt like there were a lot of different ways to convey the message that the ending was sending without it being that connection. I did not like that. It almost feels like a thriller sort of ending, and I'm like, I did not like that. And even talking about it now and feeling what comes up for me, I don't think I can give it a new favorite because I really just didn't like that connection personally. I thought it was unneeded, again, to send the message that the author was trying to convey. Something I did love about this book is it uses a lot of survival language, and that's a trope in books that I really enjoy. This does very much become a survival story. There's one point where one of the characters accidentally seriously injures the other, and it is written really well. There is like, you can feel the urgency of them being lost at sea. It's not just this cutesy, oh my gosh, rom-com, these people lost at sea. That is a part of it, and I did enjoy the lightheartedness of that aspect, but you can feel the urgency of their survival, and that definitely impacts their relationship and what they're trying to develop between the two of them, which is going from this one night stand to, oh no, we're actually lost at sea. What does this mean? Do we really like each other? They have a lot of time that they're spending together, but in very high stress situations. And because there's nothing else for them to do, they talk a lot about their lives. And through that, Beth O'Leary does a really good job of fully developing these characters because they have a lot of time together. The animal rehabilitation thing is really cute because they end up kind of like saving this bird or seagull. I think it's a seagull or a pelican. I can't remember. I don't know. Those are very different birds. I can't remember. I think it's a seagull. But that was really cute. Like, I really enjoyed that being added to the story. Yeah, it feels really fresh. It felt believable until the part of the end. And then, yeah, it looks like it was a seagull according to my handy dandy notes here. And I felt like this was a fresh, brand new story with things that I don't typically read about in romance, and it was done really, really well. The audio is also very good. It's dual narration, and that always adds to my enjoyment of a story, and I did really appreciate that. I also apologize. My 13-year-old dog is outside the door, like freaking out because she wants me to come take her out, give her attention. I don't know. She's deaf too, so I think, she doesn't know why I'm in here or what I'm doing, but she can see me through a crack in the door. Anyways, if you guys hear her click-clacking around or pawing at the door, I promise I'm going to attend to her after I tell you guys my thoughts on these books. So apologies about that. I would read this book again. So I think that kind of like summarizes what I really enjoyed about this book. Beth O'Leary continues to knock it out of the park for me. She's able to balance, again, like these really real human emotions, connections, lives, and intertwine them with each other. She does a lot of showing and not telling. It's not cringy. It's not immature. Like, I really, really deeply enjoyed this book. I just really did not like the ending, and I would love to talk to other people about that because I do think I'm being a little bit nitpicky about it. Like, of course, there is a chance that could have been the case, but I don't know. Oh yeah, and then I also wanted to talk about how at the end of the book, and this is unrelated to the kind of twist that I'm talking about, but at the end of the book, you can see that the characters have PTSD, and I don't consider that a spoiler. Like, they go through a pretty horrific and scary event, and it's not just like left at that. Like, you can see the impacts of it and the trauma of it, which I feel like in books gets left out a lot, which is okay. Like, we don't always want to read books because we want to read about trauma, but because this book felt so real a lot of the times, I just felt like that really added to this feeling like a very encompassing, like all around, well thought out story. And easy 5 stars for me. I really enjoyed it. Okay, now, if we were going to battle this out, like, I did think going into Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry, I thought for sure this was going to be a 5-star, potentially a new favorite. And then I envisioned this video being me trying to like discern which one might come out on top. Unfortunately, that ended up not being the case, and I gave this book 3 stars. Very disappointed. I actually finished it right before filming this video, so it's fresh on my mind. This one was a PM Random House audiobook. It is narrated by Julia Whelan, and I love her book. She always narrates Emily Henry's books. I love her voice. I love the way that she tells stories. If it wasn't for her, I think I would have DNF'd this book. But because I love Julia Whelan's narration, it kept me invested to the end, so I did finish it, again, at 3 stars. But yes, glad that she was a narrator, and glad that PM Random House gave me a copy early so I could talk about it with you guys. So keywords for this one would be ghostwriting, reclusive artist, competition, and then just tragic. So basically, this story is about 3 characters. We have Hayden and Alice. They are both competing to write the memoir of Margaret, who is kind of like, if you've read Seven Husbands by Evelyn Hugo, she is kind of like this reclusive artist that was very well known for a period of time. Her family was very well known, and she's never really told the story of her life. This book talks a lot about like tabloids and headlines and how they're misconstrued and misguided. And this memoir that these 2 people are competing to write is going to tell her real story about the headlines. Like, in the book, I did enjoy this where it would give like the headline and then it would give the real story. And I thought that was really cool, really creative, really unique. So yeah, basically it's about them kind of competing to write her memoir. Now, some things that I did like about the book are Emily Henry does a really good job like writing. I really enjoy her writing. For most of the story, I felt like, just like in the rest of her books, which I have loved, and like even my least favorite is a 5-star that's grown on me even more. People We Meet on Vacation. Eventually, I need to do another like author ranking of the books of the authors that I read every year, but that's neither here nor there. But I feel like she does a really good job of writing really good characters, which is another reason I did this book battle, because I feel like Beth O'Leary does a really good job of that too. In fact, they're typically on the same level. And yeah, I really enjoy her writing. There's a scene in Beach Read, which is one of my favorites by her, if not my favorite, where there's like this moment that's crafted and created that I still think about, that still makes me laugh, where one of the characters is walking home from something in the rain and the other character's like driving beside her being like, are you sure you don't want to get in the car? Like, and it's just really funny. Like the way it's crafted is very funny. I feel like that scene was kind of reenacted in the beginning of this book, where they are both leaving Margaret's house after a meeting about this competition, and they're kind of driving back. They find out that they're staying at the same place, so they're driving back the same way, and they're like stopping at the same stoplights, like awkwardly making eye contact about each other, like not trying to drive side by side. And something about that really cracked me up. So at this point in the book, I thought, this is typical Emily Henry. I'm going to love these characters. I really like the ghostwriting thing. I like the reclusive artist thing. I'm excited to learn more about Margaret and her story. So it felt like we were getting kind of like a third character in the book. There was so much I was looking forward to. This is definitely my least favorite by her. By the end of the book, I really disliked all of the characters. Margaret in particularly, she is a morally gray character, which is fine. But some of the explanations for things, some of the connections that were made, I did not like. The ending of this book, I did not like. Again, felt like it was unnecessary. It did feel a little bit more believable than the ending of Swept Away, actually. But I did not like it. I didn't like it. I did not like it. And I sat with this and sat with this and sat with this. And I was like, should I give it 4 stars? And I was like, no. Like, I genuinely was ready for this book to end and did not enjoy the last like 30% of it. And then also in the middle, we get really bogged down by details about the characters and about what's happening that did not matter. They ended up not mattering. And that's okay. I actually really like details about characters that feel like, oh, this isn't even about what the book is about, but I'm getting to know the characters even more. But for this, it was more like, it was kind of touching on what was happening, but in a not meaningful way. And I was like, just annoyed. I found myself being very annoyed. There is grief in this book. There is also like some elements of the book in the middle that I'm going to tell you guys about just in keywords without telling you anything about who they relate to or anything like that. But there's an element of like a cult, and then there's like tragedy and grief. And I didn't expect either of those. And those are tropes that I really enjoy reading about in books. And so I did enjoy that. I enjoyed both of those stories and how they were brought into the book and how they were utilized. I did really enjoy that. So I just wanted to touch on that and show that there are elements about this book that I did like that you might like too. But the really important things like who the characters are at the end of the story, how they develop or not develop and that sort of thing is really important to me. And I felt very let down by that by the end of this. Yeah, I think that's like the majority of my notes. Let me double check. I kind of ran out of space in my notebook, but I also took notes on my phone so that I would have it in another place just in case. And I have so many things that I really liked at the beginning, and then I just kind of stopped taking notes because I was like, this is going downhill. I'm not enjoying this. The family dynamics, as we're learning about Margaret's story, because again, it's her memoir, they're a little bit confusing. They're a little bit bogged down at times, and again, unnecessary. And I wrote like, Margaret, the person being interviewed, is not very entertaining. I hope it could change. It didn't. And I wrote, I enjoyed the plot of Swept Away a lot more. I didn't think that would be the case at the start of Great Big Beautiful Life. Yeah, I started to feel very confused about not only some of the plot points, but about how this was happening. How were we decompensating from something that I thought would be a new favorite into a 3-star? And that also sounds very dramatic, but I did really have high hopes for this book. And I've kind of peeked at reviews from other people after I finish it to gauge like, okay, is this just a me problem? Is this like, am I in a bad mood? I don't know, but it didn't, I think I do a good job in my reviews of saying like, I might've read this at the wrong time. I don't feel that way about this at all. I hadn't read too much romance recently. I hadn't listened to too many audio. I'd been very excited for this, and I feel like my rating of this feels congruent. It feels fair and disappointing. I feel disappointed. I have been collecting all of her books and like looking over them now, and I see so many books that I really, really love, and I won't be putting this one on my shelf. I feel like I will feel frustrated when looking at it, and I'm inclined to say maybe that will change over time, but I don't think so. And the completionist is in me is like, well, what if I don't own that book? I mean, I haven't bought Swept Away yet for my Beth O'Leary collection, but I definitely will. That one's on the list of books that I want to buy for my collection. This one isn't going to be. I don't need to take up space with a book that I didn't like, even if it means I don't own all of the author's work. Like, that's completely fine. I want to know what you guys thought about these books after you read them. If you're going to read them, like, let's chat. Obviously, civilly, because you might love or hate these books that I loved or hated, and that's okay. All right, thank you guys so much for clicking on this video. I'll see you in my next review video.